He just made it go so bad for himself.
Oh yeah,
really.
that is an
Like,
overreaction on the
really,
grandest
yeah.
scale.
Like, you were crying when you wrote that.
Had like those angry tears in his eyes, like fuck.
Welling up.
Not like full like streaming down his face, but he had that like had to hide his face from his missus because he was like storming around the house and had that
What's
fucking
wrong? He's like, nothing.
had that like little waver in his voice. No, fuck it, it's alright.
Go on, play PlayStation.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to play GTA.
Long-time listeners, first-time callers. Welcome to Return of the Wack. I'm Ned,
I'm Shaz.
and we are back for another week of wackness.
Wacky, really wacky.
You heard about this Drake stuff, man?
Oh, bits and pieces, bits and bobs, actually.
We're going to move straight into the Wack World Weekly News up top here. It's so it's kind of a two-faceted story. So let's start with the least interesting side of it first. So people are up in arms because Drake's got 13 number one like Billboard hits at the moment. And Michael Jackson has 14.
Yeah.
So
I can understand why people wouldn't like that idea.
Yeah,
Like,
because
there's valid arguments and say that shouldn't be the case.
well, there's been this argument over the last so many years that Drake has just sort of pumped out stuff that's more quantity over quality kind of thing.
Yeah,
he has 14 or 13 number one hits or whatever, but he's released a whole bunch of albums with lots of songs on them, and a whole bunch of those songs just go nowhere.
Yeah.
So
And they're quite similar.
yeah, 100%.
There's the argument that he doesn't really write his stuff.
Yeah, there's also that whole argument.
If you want to die, you can say that.
Yeah.
It's
Got a fucking
your
death
call.
wish, cunt.
Your fucking call, mate. Go on.
Fucking say that, man.
You know why they
End of the
call it?
podcast.
You know why they call it Ghost Rider? Just Drake.
Oh, fucking hell, man. I can't imagine, just Canadians being intimidating in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, too neutral, if anything. Or even too friendly. They lean more to friendly.
Well, that's
If I was just going to categorize an entire nation of people, say, friendly, talk funny.
It's weird.
That's how I'd sum
It's
it
weird
up.
as well, because if you actually go back in history, there's I can't remember what war it was. I think it was World War II or World War One. There's all of these stories of the Canadian army just completely
Slacking
going
off.
against the Geneva Convention and just being absolutely ruthless motherfuckers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that ice hockey.
Or supposedly there's parts of the Geneva Convention that were actually invented because of what the Canadian
Because of
army
Canada.
did. Yeah.
Very Nazi Germany-esque.
Maybe they
isn't
just
it?
got it all out of their system.
Lucky they didn't have a Canadian Hitler
Yeah.
come through the ranks. Could all be speaking French
Gotta
American.
kill the Jews, eh?
Yeah. Yes, some more, Lee. Oh, no.
Get him in their chambers there.
That's Irish now. Fiddly-dee. Get in your chamber.
We're losing it.
Yeah, no, we lost.
But anyway, the second part of this story.
Got a lot of beef around him, old Drake. He's a beefy boy. Loves a beef.
Loves a bit of beef.
Keeps him in the loop.
So his new album's come out this week, and of course, Joe Budden's not happy about it, as he never seems to be happy about anybody
No.
releasing an album.
A lot of things push his buttons.
Yeah, his buttons, if you will.
Yeah. Buttons. Should make that a segment.
That should be his podcast.
Yeah. He needs to put us on.
Fucking, don't steal that without any kicking any rights our way. But
Yeah.
Joe, I don't know what to call him.
Boy. Yeah, I think he likes Joey Boy
Buddy boy.
from memory. Buddy Boy. Call him
Anyway.
Big Chief. Hey, Big Chief.
So he's trying to make this point that Drake is rapping for children, essentially.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
who else is going to buy your albums? So who else are you really making music for? If you're not, if you're a pop star.
Yeah. I think Joe's point was more like, oh, represent my demographic.
Well,
not
this
that
was his quote
demographic."
anyway. He said he's rapping for the children.
For the kids.
Yo, dog, I had to look up how old this N-word was when I finished listening to the album. He said, you are 36 years old.
Naysayer, is
Your
what he called
birthday
him.
is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You're going to be 37 years old. Get the fuck away from some of these younger people.
How old is Joe Budden?
Pretty sure around 40.
Yeah.
And he says, I want to hear Drake he says, I want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. He continued, he's
Like
rapping for the
adult
kids,
me.
the streams, the accolades. He ain't trying to rap for me. I can accept that.
I've already accepted that. It's not for me anymore. It's for our generation.
How do you end a quote? I've already accepted that, but I'm complaining about it. Well, you clearly
It's
haven't
for other
accepted
people.
it.
You're struggling.
So, all right. So Joe Budden is a pretty controversial person within rap, right? So he always seems to have a problem with somebody releasing. And what happens is
no one pays attention to him.
Exactly. He'll blow up. Nobody pays attention to him. But Drake has made the mistake of paying a whole lot of attention to him.
He over-engaged. Like,
You could say that.
hurt his feelings.
Yeah. 100%.
Not happy.
Legit. Like everyone else just goes, oh, Joe Budden is just being a fuckwit again. I'm going to completely
Literally,
ignore
that's
that.
all it was. It's just like, oh, that's who he's going at this week. Next week, it'll be someone else.
But Drake saw it and went fucking,
What the fuck? He knows I kill people.
I'm a fucking dangerous man.
He's lucky I just comment this.
Speaking of comments, so I'm not sure whether this was a comment on one of Joe's posts or whether this was a post by Drake, but let's go through the entire thing here because this is high school level,
Probably a
like
page out of his
retaliation. It's fucking exactly like
He's like feelings journal.
yeah.
Joe upset me today.
Stay out of your fucking feelings, Drake.
Stay away from it.
Joe was mean to me.
Yeah. Joey, help me. Please stop. With the mean
That's
words. Oh, leave him alone. That's
Leave him alone, Joe.
He's had enough.
Too much.
Oh, it's a bit of an inside joke. You probably won't laugh at that.
fucking hell.
But we
Shout out
know.
to Borks. He's going to lose it.
Yeah. He'll get it. He understands.
All right. So here's the whole comment from Drake. You have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you are doing in this clip because this is actually what pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switched careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check. And the raps you write... Hang on a sec.
Quite rude.
Zoomed in here and I didn't mean to. Have you living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty, and I don't know how to say this word, anise jeans to screw up their face to mood music. No idea.
Jeans of some description.
To screw up their face to mood music 29 to pretend you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact.
That's like a beautiful window into his delusion that other people feel the same way as him about it. Don't let him get you down, eh?
We're all against him, eh?
Yeah, all of this.
It's all of us against you.
You're all
right, guys.
this, hey?
This is how we all feel, right?
Right, kids?
Oh, fucking hell. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need it in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions.
Oh, well, you're both doing better than me.
Yeah.
That's just fucking hell. Drake is butthurt over
100%.
What are you insecure about, big boy?
Like fucking
bro, just age gracefully. Accept that part. Should have laughed that off.
Well, speaking of aging gracefully,
it's just sad.
Joe's replied on the same post. He says, "You'll grow up sooner or later. Father Time is undefeated."
Oh god,
which is
too real.
Like, I don't know. It's probably the best comeback you could have.
Yeah, and it's just like Joe was pretty light about what he's doing, and Drake's just gone to this other level.
Oh yeah, like
He just made it go so bad for himself.
Oh yeah,
really.
that is an
Like,
overreaction on the
you're an idiot.
grander scale.
Like you were crying when you wrote that.
Had like those angry tears in his eyes, like
just
fuck.
welling up. Like,
Not like full like streaming down his face, but he had that like had to hide his face from his missus because he was like storming around the house and had
like,
that
what's
fucking
wrong? He's like, nothing.
had that like little waver in his voice, like nothing, fucking, it's alright.
Go and play PlayStation
Yeah.
with kids. I'm going to play GTA. Oh, speaking of beef, though.
Speaking of
There's
beef,
some bigger beef going on. Some realer beef.
100%. There's
some wars happening. If you
crazy
weren't aware in this world.
some crazy shit going on fucking on TikTok in Israel.
Yeah.
Because it's only just reached the fucking like mainstream media.
This probably happened 5 years ago.
Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories are reeling from the most serious escalation between the Jewish state and the Islamist group Hamas to date after a surprise Palestinian attack on the morning of a Jewish holiday led to hundreds of deaths, the seizure of dozens of Israeli hostages, and sparked fears of a regional escalation.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah, I was watching footage earlier of like you know what the Iron Curtain is, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's like Israel's missile defense.
System.
It's in full effect at the moment because there's like literally.
Have you seen footage of it? It's insane.
There's literally
it's like genuinely scary.
Thousands of missiles being launched.
It's insane.
At like all points in the fucking day.
Because that's sort of like, I feel like that's the sort of counter to that Iron Curtain is just lob as many as you can because we probably have more resources than them and they'll run out before us and a few will get through.
Goalie can only save so many fucking goals, man. Like eventually one's gonna slip through.
That's what I mean. You shoot enough at a time.
Yeah.
On a prolonged period, systems fail, and there's just always that slight chance of something just slipping through anyway.
100%. But it's strange that this has just sort of escalated out of nowhere. I mean, they've like.
I feel it's strange that there can be so many. Like I'm glad we don't live in a war-torn country.
Yeah.
Like it's insane the differences that people's lives actually are. Imagine living in a world where the Iron Curtain is the only thing stopping you from being obliterated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's not funny. It's not. It isn't bad. It's obviously bad.
Yeah, 100%. But like, what even sparked this?
I think it's territory dispute, really.
Like you had an article up before.
Oh yeah, I had a little sus. But essentially, because of the United Nations, like 1947 or something, United Nations was meant to make a treaty for some land. There's a bit of a war happening in Israel, I believe, sort of
struggling.
Sort of claimed it, and now it's just under contention, really.
Yeah, because as far as I know, there's Israel and Israel and Palestine, and then there's like this actual there's this contention zone in between them that's ruled by a bunch of different like royal families or something like that.
Yeah, well, it works differently to us, that's for sure. But as far as I don't actually know how the royal families go. I know it's like it's sort of Hamas took over sort of thing, and that's where things started to get really bitter.
Yeah, this is fucking... And it's just crazy how this shit's just exploded out of nowhere in the last couple of days.
Well, it hasn't. This sort of stuff has been going on for a long time now.
Well, yeah, it says like the Hamas militants seized control of the Gaza Strip in 2007. And... Fucking hell, man, this is intense. At least 250 people in Israel were killed, at least 1,800 injured.
Jesus.
Fucking in the Gaza Strip, 232 people were killed and 1,650 injured in the retaliatory Israeli airstrikes, sending the area's already crumbling medical infrastructure into chaos. I'm just confused.
Yeah. Sounds bad.
Yeah, it really does.
Sounds pretty bad.
Israelis across the center and the south of the country were woken by the thud of missile fire and wailing of air raid sirens from about 7 a.m. on Saturday, the last day of the Jewish high holidays.
Well, that seems a bit rude.
Just completely interrupting it.
Oh, that's probably deliberate.
Yeah, you would assume.
Yeah. That's mean. I mean, you could probably go on for quite a while with how horrible it is.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's entirely necessary.
All right, hang on.
Yeah, 50,000 people maimed and
Gaza's
killed.
trapped population of 2.3 million already battered by 4 wars in the 16 years since Hamas seized control of the Strip, and Israel and Egypt imposed a punishing blockade is likely to bear the brunt of the consequences.
Mm.
Israel has not faced a catastrophe on this scale for 50 years. There are many questions for the military and government as to how this was allowed to happen. So what did you say earlier? Something about like UN sanctions?
Yeah, well, they essentially, it was supposed to be a treaty for land, and it never went through fully. It didn't actually go through. So it kicked off a big argument essentially for whose land it's going to be.
Right.
It's just been back and forth since then because both of them believe neither party deserves it or has a right to it, because sort of like the Jewish side claims that that's their holy land and that's why they're entitled to it. But
Right.
sort of like it was actually Palestine's territory or whatever.
That's right.
before that.
Like I was about to say, the Jewish people or the Israeli people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the Israelites, as they say. And there's like an area specifically set up as a demilitarized zone to try and bring more Jewish people in to set like there's two factions essentially.
And that's the Gaza Strip?
Uh I don't know, to be
Right.
honest. All I know is basically from the little bits that I have, like, so I've watched a couple documentaries on it and stuff, like about ultra Zionists and stuff like that. 'Cause it's super interesting.
What's ultra Zionist?
It's like diehard Jewish people,
Oh,
like
okay.
to the T, and they're like pushing for like Israelites' land and stuff, or arguing for it. There's a lot of people that are just taking bits of land and saying this is it, like we live here and stuff, like in tents and all of that sort of stuff,
Oh.
because they're so passionate and so like have such a deep belief in the religion and that the like it's a holy right to be there and stuff.
Right.
They feel like they're the closest to God in that sense.
It's interesting how people
But
can...
there's a big sense of entitlement with it all, and it's just like there's a sort of like a blurred line or a gray area where it's sort of like there's a particular segment that does accept it in the nation or in the United Nations, but the rest of the world doesn't.
Right.
So it's like technically right, but technically wrong sort of thing. But that's why it can exist, because there's support networks within governments that are actually keeping it alive.
Okay. Because, yeah, from like I spoke about earlier, anything that I've seen online, especially like, you're just scrolling through TikTok and you see videos of missiles just flying everywhere, even
Yeah,
it's from...
or like crowds of people throwing rocks and getting tear
Yeah.
gassed and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there is
There's a
like
lot of
there is shit happening on the
shooting over
ground
their
as
heads
well.
and stuff.
But my
Like,
point
there's
was
always high tensions.
my point was going to be that like you go through the comments and 99% of the comments are all people just being like free Palestine.
Yeah. Well,
So it's like it's
but
weird. There's
you'll
like a
probably
grey
see
area and
just
there's
as
obviously
many. You'll see just as many going the other way.
that's what I mean.
too.
There's obviously a
And it's
50-50
outside
argument.
of the nation itself as well. There's a worldwide like speculation and opinion that's divided between people.
Yeah.
Like they both have strong parties behind them in a sense. And it just seems like it's always going to be an ongoing argument.
Yeah.
It seems like UN wanted to try and fix it, but then realized it's beyond.
At some point, where does the world have the right to have an opinion in something?
Yeah, well, I think they realize.
by...
I think they essentially realize like it doesn't matter what they're gonna say. This isn't gonna like if they instate land, it's gonna cause a fight. If they don't, it's gonna cause a fight.
Yeah.
So we just got to walk away.
Mm.
Just leave it alone. Hopefully these neighbors will stop feuding.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And now they're throwing missiles around.
I know we were going to talk about invisible string theory, but I think I think that point that you just made brings us into something else that we were going to talk about.
What's that?
The yes or no debate that's going on at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Within Australia. Like it just just that point that we were just talking about how like not everybody needs to have an opinion on something that doesn't directly affect them.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's allowed to have that opinion, but it's like you gotta understand and accept when like you don't have the same understanding as other people about it. So your opinion isn't necessarily the right one. It's just your opinion. You're allowed to have that. Don't expect other people to either understand it or to agree with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really about that sort of thing. And if you have that attitude, you can like you get way better perspective
Yeah.
from both ends. I feel your own and from like the other parties. More of an attitude thing.
Well, I don't know. Let's just start. Like, how do you feel about it?
The vote,
Yeah.
I don't like
The referendum.
personally. I think like the principle's good. I think that definitely I have nothing against Indigenous people having a stronger voice,
Yep.
better representation, and like systems that can help us all actually get along properly as a country and not have this sort of gap between people that are doing fine and people that are not doing fine at all.
Yeah.
And like, 'cause it's that bad at the moment that it's like it's the government. Any government intervention hasn't helped. So something different needs to start happening.
Yeah.
But it's like, is this just tokenism though? That's the only problem. Is it actually something? Is it going to make any real
All right.
difference
So
at all?
interesting point, because like Frumi, who we're both good
Yeah,
friends with
yeah.
and is an Indigenous person,
Yeah.
is under the impression that people should vote no. And
Yep.
also
See,
my cousin who is part
again,
of it, because
see,
of
that's
that whole,
perspective.
they feel like it's a tokenism thing of like, this
Yeah.
is just a fucking,
Well, I couldn't help but wonder because when you read about it, essentially there's no real federal implementation.
right. So
it's just advisors essentially.
this is my problem behind it, in the sense that they keep saying that all of, like, you know, we're doing like, well, that's the fact. They're not saying it's going to do this and it's going to do that. I need facts. I
Yeah.
need you to be able to say that this is the kind of like power that the voice is
Or-
going to have, or these are the
yeah.
kind of things that it's going to
Give some
try and
proper
achieve.
demonstrations of this is what we're doing. This
Yes.
is how we're gonna do it, and this is why we're doing it, and it'll.
As opposed to just like do this because it's
Well,
right.
at the moment, it's just like we're gonna have some people around, so the white people in the parties can just ask them their opinion on it, essentially, and see what they think. But it's like they do that with big mining companies like Rio Tinto, and they're supposed to always sort of liaise with the rightful landowners.
Yeah.
But they still blow massive holes through the ground without asking anybody.
Exactly.
So it's like really, when they really want to do something, there's nothing still stopping that sort of larger side of society or that larger kind of authority side of things
Yeah.
from tipping too far away out of touch for usually profit.
Yeah,
usually
you're right.
money. That's usually what the government does this sort of stuff for.
And that's exactly the point that some people are making. The fact that it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's really not going to change anything.
Well, yeah, but I feel like people that are really like arguing with each other over it, it's not really worth the argument.
Well, the way that I see it as well, it's like there's really like, there's four parties when you look at it, right? There's people that are for the yes campaign through and through.
Yeah.
Then there's people that like don't know about it and don't care about it. Then
Yeah.
you look at the no side of things and you've got two sides of that. You've got people like, you know, like Frumi, like I mentioned before, who are actually Indigenous, who think it's just going to be some form of tokenism. That
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
a
putting
bit
it up there for, just to say like, oh, we did this, make you guys feel better. It's not actually going to fucking mean anything.
Yeah.
And then you've got, you know, just your racist backwards
Yeah.
fuckwits on the no side.
Allowed to talk.
Yeah, fuck them.
It's my entitlement to talk. We're
Yeah,
my voice.
Fucking, what about the fucking white
I didn't
man?
vote for fucking Albanese, you cunt.
Yeah,
I hate
fucking,
that fucking cunt.
yeah, fuck him.
Who the hell though?
Labour.
Yeah, fucking hate the greenies too, cunt.
Oh, fuck dogs.
I don't know who I like. No, Ned Kelly should run the country.
Yeah.
Or someone that drinks JD.
Paul Hogan for Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah, just absolutely backwards shit
Unnecessary. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
They're only entitled to
like
their opinion
this-
because they're forced to have an opinion.
Yeah, well, not even.
So this is the point that I wanted to make overall, is the fact that like, should compulsory voting be a thing for these
No.
referendums?
I don't think it should be. I feel like you can't. It's hard to say we're a free country when you're forced to speak.
Yeah.
Because like, to me, a part of freedom of speech is freedom of not speaking if you choose not to.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
you should have the right to say I don't want to participate.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to do that. I
Yeah,
feel.
exactly. You're well within your rights
Yeah.
to say, like, I have no
Because-
strong feelings either way. I don't
yeah,
want to
well,
fucking cast a vote.
And it's because it'll be if you want more people to vote, you should be more appealing for real.
Yes.
Like, if people stop voting, government parties are actually going to try harder to get your votes and want you to actually vote for stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll become more like they have to follow through with things because they seen what happens. They lose people if like just completely lose people on both sides.
Yeah.
And you can't get anyone to vote. And they'll see like we actually need to follow through on our shit to keep our voters coming back. Because right now, if you're forced, all you do is like, I don't give a shit. Like if you don't give a shit, you don't make a good vote.
Yeah.
Like if you genuinely think this is stupid, I don't. Like especially after you go through like a time in Australian politics where it was just like vote for somebody, but they get outed and someone else is representing it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then boom, outed again. Like it's like
does that happen within both parties?
yeah. And once that happens, you just think that's it's a joke.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
Like why? Like you don't care what we actually say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you're all doing your own fucking thing, and we're pawns in that.
Yeah.
Sort of, like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's like if we didn't have to vote and we were actually free to decide, we'd make a better decision, or no one would make any decisions and people would have to actually step up to make things better. And it would just make things a little bit better.
100%. The whole ecosystem surrounding it will be different because you're right. They would actually have to try to influence people as opposed to just going, I might do this, I might not. You're going to have to vote for one of us anyway.
Yeah, and I might be there at the end of a term. I might not.
Yeah.
Like I could.
Who knows?
I could literally just be a puppet to get the party the seat, and then once we've got the seat, they'll give me 6 months and they'll swap me out with the person they actually want running the seat. That's like to me. That's how I believe it actually works. I don't think it's like, is that corrupt or not? I don't know. I just don't think it's fair.
Oh, it's definitely corrupt.
Yeah, I don't know. It's some people would argue it's tactical. It's like because they're a representative of a party. Like I could see where there'd be like a grey area where they could argue, where people could argue like they're voting for our party, not our leader, so it doesn't matter who's the leader.
Yeah.
That's like the twisted way around it, I would say. So it's hard to say it's outright corrupt, but it's not fair. Like you can say it's not fair.
Oh, 100%.
Dishonest.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably the better point to make. You can't say that it's outright corrupt, but it is definitely. It's not fair for you to be
what
forced.
It's supposed to be about.
For you to be forced into something and then to actually motivate yourself to make a decision and then have that decision mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's like why?
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're just making people make disingenuous decisions.
Yeah, literally.
Because I've
done it. I've gone and just drawn dicks on my.
100%. So have I.
And I know some people don't like people who don't vote, but it's like, you just haven't realized it's a joke yet.
Yeah.
You just haven't realized yet. You'll see that
but that's the
fucking
thing.
Matter.
If it wasn't compulsory, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because the people who care would and the people who don't wouldn't.
You really, because like I said, if you're forced to speak when you don't want to, it's not true. You'll make a bad decision.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's not free. You're not free.
Which I think is a symptom of a lot of, like I said, that lower 50% of the no vote, which are really just like racist, backwards, fuckwits. It's like, 90% of those people wouldn't be involved if you didn't force them. If you didn't say to them, you're going to get fined $50 if you don't go down there and make a decision.
They'll just go fucking shooting and fucking doing whatever the fuck
that's
they
it,
usually
man.
do. Getting pissed around the bonfire.
Exactly.
Think of Mondays, mate. Whatever you fucking get in it. Whatever floats your boat, you know, because you don't have to fuck around with that and get up early so you can't get on the piss tonight.
They're too busy trying to make their boat float, bro. There's holes in it.
Yeah. Fucking cracking a tinny in a tinny.
Yeah.
Cracking a fucking tinny of woody in me tinny, mate.
Tinny squared.
Tinny cubed. I'm Uzi. He probably doesn't do that, but it's similar to his voice. Fuck, I hate that cunt.
Who?
David Hughes.
Oh, the worst.
Hang on. Hey, I'm David Hughes.
Why am I laying on radio?
Just the volume, yeah. I got a face for radio. Tell you what.
I own 17 houses.
I'm a landlord. Yuck.
But I'm still going to act like the common man.
Yeah, but I'm not. He does that sometimes.
I'm a sentient two-stroke motor.
Well, it's more like... Oh, whippersnipper.
Oh, fuck it all. One thing we did forget to mention in the news, which I would like to talk about quickly because it's slightly interesting. This whole fucking... Did you see the opening of the Las Vegas Sphere? Like
Yeah, I've seen
crazy
bits
ass
and
fucking.
pieces, yeah.
So
Or
hang on.
even just the weird shit they were doing before that with like the eyeball and stuff.
Yeah, they've just been like posting
Gross.
random So let's actually go through the like specs of this thing because it's fucking crazy. Officially named the Exosphere, it's a next generation entertainment medium with a huge 80,000 square foot fully programmable LED exterior to showcase art. The Exosphere has approximately 1.2 million LED pucks, and each puck contains 48 individual LED diodes capable of displaying 256 million different colors. Jesus Christ.
Colors you can't even fucking see, man.
So fucking insane. So that like you can fit 18,000 people in there, featuring towering wraparound LED screens and 160,000 speakers. It's fucking insane.
Sort of seems not essential.
And then they
in
picked
any
you
capacity.
two to open it. It's a beautiful day. Shut up.
Oh my god! Donate to the orphans.
Suck bottom.
You're a wanker. Fucking pikey.
Sometimes just throws a fucking bottle of motor oil at him.
Just lit up across all of the city. Action replays for hours. Oh, poor Bono. He's got some fans.
The man just keeps playing around him. Just
Yeah. Finally, peace and
Someone
quiet.
shut him up.
He's always fucking singing.
They're just like, finally, fuck.
They run away.
the
We can
guitarist-
go. We can leave.
The guitarist takes off that shitty beanie and reveals like a multicolored mohawk and then just starts talking about fucking destroy the environment. They're actually a punk band.
Nazis. Boy, got rid of that cut.
Oh, holy shit.
Look down. You see they were actually already wearing Doc Martens.
Just ready to go. Biding their time.
Insane, though. There's some good fucking bands that could go in there. Can
It's-
you let off? So, because it's outside and inside.
Both.
So, can you let off fireworks inside, you reckon? Like have pyrotechnics still?
Yeah.
So, it seems big enough.
Oh, there'd be
Massive.
ventilation and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like with that effect of just complete surrounded and also like, because you're just like looking up and it's just like, fuck, it's a beautiful
It's everywhere.
day.
Yeah. Like that's the
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's
Donate to Wave Aid.
a question that I wanted to ask you. Like, A, who would you like to see there? And B, who do you think would put on good shows
Yeah,
there?
all right. So to see, so many good people you could actually see.
I've written down a couple of people I'd love to see
Obviously-
Kendrick there.
yeah,
Kendrick
that'd go
or-
off.
Kendrick
yeah.
or Kanye because they both put on
Put on a
good
good show,
performances and they
yeah.
have like crazy backstage shit.
Yeah, because that's really so like it doesn't even have to be like it'd be sick for like even theater and stuff.
Yeah.
You could put stage in there, be surrounded, and then use all of that backdrop as effects.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
like create like you could probably have 3D projections and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like any medium can nearly go in there now. Like it's insane. So it's like so many good things you could see. Like
Yeah.
anything nearly. Hamlet.
Well, imagine like movies there or something like that. Even like that. Maybe
Yeah, that's what I
that'd
mean.
work.
That's what I mean. Like, and imagine watching a horror movie in that environment or something.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, and then you could actually let off explosions. Like,
Yeah.
Be like, fuck.
But yeah, like who, like, did anything cross your
Keep
mind
bullying.
immediately that you'd like,
Name of God.
yeah,
Always love listening to Name of God.
only if Chris Adler comes back.
Just to be, yeah, there's some requirements. Oh, Name of God.
Tool would be cool to see there.
Fuck yeah, I didn't even think Corn.
Oh,
Corn would be, people will die.
Yeah,
Like,
legitimately.
of excitement, not violence. But Corn will be good.
Any like
Resurrect Kurt Cobain.
any DJ would probably be cool to see there
of
because they
course,
usually
any
have like
EDM nearly.
crazy fucking like
imagine-
visuals and shit like that.
Imagine like some fucking psytrance in like how big was it? 80,000.
18,000 people.
18,000.
But it's like the way that it's designed, it's like so fucking,
You could
it goes
literally-
really high. So it's like
Yeah.
everyone's really still
it,
close
like,
together.
You could and it's like I gotcha, but it's like the effect you could create it so it's like the walls are waving and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it could be so intense.
Yeah,
that
it'd
it's
be
completely different,
fucking crazy.
completely different atmosphere to anything we've probably ever really
Yeah.
experienced. It's like the next level of immersion.
And then cool as well because it's like all you got to do is be in the city and then it's like, oh, sick,
Oh.
fucking Like,
How's that gonna work?
like
I
Kendrick's
wonder?
at the fucking Sphere, and you can just sit there on your balcony and just watch the fucking show.
They're gonna find a way to fucking make money out of that
100%.
somehow. I don't know how.
Some kind of just set up like a film camera, and just. But that's the thing.
You
It's like
reckon?
it's a big fucking. It's a
No,
giant
they'll
ass.
find a way to make you
curve.
pay to see it. I don't know how, but I just feel like it'll be something like you need to subscribe.
There'll
to
be like a
pair of
special.
glasses
I was about
or
to say a
something
special pair of
for
glasses
the
or something
screen
that
to
allows
actually
you to see it.
interact. That's what I reckon it'll end up being. Like, this is the beginning of something new. That's what I think. Like, something. This is like the new level of entertainment. Put us like another layer into the old simulation. Serious.
Never escape the Matrix.
Just get more and more immersed for money. Pay us to immerse yourself. True though. Who doesn't want money?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the reason why Drake's beefing. Got to get money somehow.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of money, fucking like and subscribe and share the fucking podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
And
Not that we'll make
do that.
any money directly off of that. It's a good start somewhere. So
All right.
can't openly ask for money.
We mentioned invisible string theory earlier, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept that I
little
happened upon
convo.
during the week. I was just scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video of this girl talking about, I randomly had this feeling to go home and watch my dad's softball game. Little did I know, like, my boyfriend or the dude that I was going to marry was, like, playing on the same team, and here's him, like, a month before we met.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. And I started, like, sort of thinking back, and it's interesting because I bet everybody has one of these stories. And like I mentioned to you before, we wouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
Like, if we go back, like, we
Yeah.
wouldn't be friends if my mum and Matt's mum never worked together.
Yeah.
When we were like 12 or like 11 years old.
It's true because like Matt was like our intermediary.
Yeah,
you could
pretty much.
say. He was the bridge because, and it goes back even further to like if my mum didn't meet her partner,
Yeah.
I would never have even moved to the area to meet Matt.
Yeah.
So curious.
And then there's whole other things. Like, remember, like, because he was supposed to move down the coast.
Oh yeah.
So there could have
Down
been
in
like
Shelley,
there's
mate.
there's that whole like sequence of events
Pissed
that
up.
happened in like his family's life that meant that he stayed here to be
Yeah.
that fucking connecting tissue for all of us.
Yeah.
So like the whole concept behind it is there's just these invisible strings
And
that
you can
connect.
see that between all your like jerks.
Yeah,
Like anybody you kind of refer back to. you start to
100%.
See this. You can actually like almost picture the strings.
there's like
Right.
there's a point where it all just sort of starts from.
And like, it's curious because people argue that it actually like ties to actual string theory. How all particles are actually like a little
Extension
string
of the next one.
wavelength
Yeah.
sort of thing, and they all have an effect on each other and all connect in some mysterious and quantum manner.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just wonder if it's like just like that human element of romanticizing things, as
Romanticizing
destiny.
your own story.
Yeah, and thinking it must be destiny because it worked out so well, and if this particular thing didn't happen, none of it would have happened at all. So
Yes.
it must have had to have happened. Whereas it could just be a coincidence and it was just a really good one. So you're paying attention to it and you get the belief. Fuck it. Yeah, it's a fucking rowdy dog. Chasing something in the bush, I'm sure. Oh, well, he's got to live his life. Like,
Let him live, man.
he doesn't know we're doing this. He's all right.
Why are we doing a podcast, cunt?
Yeah, shut your mouth. I got night shift.
Anyway,
Yeah. But it's
I think this right. So that point only exists on a basis that multiverse theory exists.
well,
Because-
it's getting easier and easier to argue that it is with like the progressions through quantum physics.
Right.
It's almost undeniable that something along them lines is the scenario that it's all meant to be. It all happens at once.
And there's multiple different like
It's all separate. Yeah, it's somehow separated.
like there's universes where I'm sitting here doing a podcast with somebody else. There's a universe where we're not doing it at all. Like
yeah, pretty
all
much.
those kind of things.
Literally, there's probably a universe where I'm a hot air balloon instructor. and
Yeah.
there's flown around the Alps. I don't even want to do that. I would hate that for a job. I
That
don't know
would
why.
suck.
I don't know why I invented that in my imagination. My fantasy land is something I hate. Oh my god.
I hate my wildest dreams.
What the fuck? The fucking whack.
But it's just interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting to think about in the
It's
sense of like
cool,
every
yeah.
single one of your connections has this like base point that you can tie it all back to.
And people argue like that's why manifestation can exist and stuff, because you personally are putting yourself on the wavelength of that reality. So you're tuning into it and it creates that reality. That's the argument of manifestation.
Right.
So it's sort of like it all ties together nicely. So it's just hard sometimes to just say that's definitely it, because there's not enough tangible
Yeah.
things. But it sounds right, But that's the gist.
Like
of
you
it.
said, like I think that's the best point to make. It sounds right, but does it only sound right because we're living it? Because it's our fucking reality and our
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, well,
it's
this
always
worked
gonna
out,
be
so
personal.
this must be the only way that it works out.
Yeah, and it's also like you have a default thing in your head that you're the only you. You're the only you know. So there can't be millions of them or an infinite amount of them doing an infinite amount of things.
Yes.
It's like in itself is counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to just say that, but it could be true.
It
Like
could be.
I do feel like I've had times in my life where I am on some kind of different vibe, nearly.
Wavelength.
And
yeah.
my life does feel different
Yeah.
and stuff. And
We're just more aware of things.
yeah, I'm not too sure what it actually is. Like, I don't know, but I could definitely tell you that when I look back on my life, it's more the memories of feelings nearly.
Mhm.
Like, and the times in my life was those feelings were almost like a fabric of the person that I was at that time and the experiences that I was having.
Yeah.
So,
But it's something I'd like to put out to the listeners. If you guys have any interesting stories about
Yeah.
things like that, where like crazy sequences of events
just big old
happen.
coinky dink or fate.
That's it, and it could be anything, but like between like you meeting like a best friend or a relationship or just
Yes.
anything like that, how
Like,
your parents
even
met
career
or
paths.
anything, man.
There's so many, and that's why again with manifestation ideas, it's so good to have a positive outlook, because these scenarios usually come from you embracing situations.
Yeah,
Like that's usually at its core is a scenario or a situation that you had the right attitude for at the right time for this connection to actually happen.
100%, man. Your
Yeah.
focal point breeds your reality.
That's the argument.
Yeah.
That's the argument to this sort of stuff and more deeper quantum sort of universe shit, multiverse.
Could be. All right, I think we're gonna end off here with the fucking whack fact of the week.
Yeah.
You ready to be terrified?
Well, I don't know if anything terrifies me anymore, Matt.
The eyes have a separate immune system than the rest of the body. If your body's immune system realizes your eyes exist, it'll attack the eyes and reject them from the body as it would a virus.
Well, that's yuck. It liquefies your eyes in your head. Stop. Fuck it up.
That's fucking crazy, hey?
I thought your eyes was an attachment of your brain. Like it is actually a part of your brain.
Apparently not.
Apparently, it's a foreign object.
Yes.
It shouldn't be in there.
According to your body. How does that work? So we
Fucking
just live on
alien
this
peepers.
constant balancing scale of like one thing could go wrong and your body could just
Well,
eat
that's
your
like-
eyes.
That's like autoimmune diseases, I suppose. There's so many like times that like the body attacks itself.
Yeah.
It's bizarre as well. Like how these actually it's interesting that we're even talking about this because I was only talking to someone about CRISPR Cas9 the other day.
That DNA altering thing.
Yeah. And it's like at its core, all of these sorts of like say like if someone did have this problem where their eyes were liquefying because their immune system was attacking it,
Yeah.
which probably has happened.
Oh,
like,
100%.
if it can happen, it will happen sort of thing.
Yeah.
Seems like now with the technology that's available across the world.
Oh no,
Well, no,
Murphy's
like-
Law.
I'm just a statistic. Also a stutter. Oh my god. I was gonna say
I'm turning into Dave
statistic.
Hughes.
I'm just a statistic. It's the stuttering statistic. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, I nearly died. Oh, I need a speech therapist, perhaps.
Oh, fucking hell. But you were
Ugh.
saying,
Gone.
gone, finished.
Gone, you know me.
Like this podcast.
Yeah. Adios. Bye-bye.
Oh, fucking hell. We're at 44 minutes. It's a good
Yeah,
time to
well.
call it for the week, man.
Home time, mate.
Fucking clocking you out. Fucking beer o'clock, mate. Hard-earned thirst.
Oh, fuck it. Started a new job this week.
Oh, you
Bye.
fucking did too. Let's quickly end with that.
Oh, you wanna?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, don't like it. Money's all right. Gonna do it for a while.
Gonna do things for a bit.
Gets me out of there.
Then I won't.
Yeah.
You got in trouble for making a coffee.
Oh, yeah. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't piss me off. It like pissed the other person off. They were upset. And I was just, I literally said, really? Like, they're like, look, I don't give a fuck, but someone else sees it, you'll get sacked. I thought, literally, I just said, really? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, bit harsh.
Okay, well, that seems like a really shit way to keep
Yeah.
employees.
I was
Hey.
just, like, well, I'm drinking me coffee.
Yeah.
Like, you've two fucks. There's nothing to do at the moment.
What did he expect you to do? Throw it out instant? Oh, fuck. Sorry, man.
I'm so sorry. Pour it down my pants. This is the punishment I deserve.
Pour it into your eyes so you
Yeah.
can beat your own immune system to destroying them.
Yeah. It's the only fate I deserve. But I still have to wear safety glasses when I rock up with just holes in my sockets. Imagine that. How you going? Just fucking holes. With glasses, though. I wish I had some safeties. That'd be hilarious. I'll just poke my eyes out. It'll be worth it. Fucking gold. What's a good nickname for someone that had no eyes in their heads but wears sunnies or glasses all the time?
I don't know.
Yeah, Diva.
Shades.
Shades, yeah, bro, you're on. There we're going. Stevie.
Shady Steve.
Stevie McShades.
Stevie Wonder, because he wonders where his fucking eyes went.
Just I wonder. I wonder where his eyes went. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking
send
hell.
it home.
Alrighty. So you can subscribe to us
Doodles.
at Return of the Wack Podcast on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, we love it.
I've started a new podcast myself, actually, just
Yeah,
talking
same
about
that.
combat sports. You can subscribe to that at Squared Circle CSP on YouTube. And you can find that at Squared Circle Combat Sports Podcast and any of your audio platforms. We're also on any of your audio platforms, Apple, Spotify. Remember to rate, review, like, and subscribe, and just fucking share it around.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do physical labor anymore and get
That'd
in
be
trouble
good.
for making coffees.
Yeah, I'd like to make coffees freely.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Wouldn't we all?
Not
Let's be
cop any
honest.
flack for it.
Everybody should just try what we're doing, and you might get lucky, and
Yeah.
then you can drink a coffee whenever you like.
Fuck it, just freedom.
12 at night.
Freedom for
Doesn't
your
matter
caffeine.
anymore. What are you getting up for? Do what you want. Freedom.
Just drinking a coffee at 3 a.m. I've got nothing to live for.
This is fun. Finally, I achieved it. Staring out into blank, black space.
Success.
Life is good. It's pale as fuck because you're just awake at night all the time now. You don't have a job.
But you can drink coffee when you want.
But you're free to drink them. Cutery,
We'll see you next
my name's
week.
Shaz. If you find me, I gotta hide better. See ya.